All right, today we're going to start by introducing everyone. My name is Cody Rich. This is Mr. Neil Gibbs to my right and Chris Piles across the table from me. We're going to split this project, our presentation, up into three sections. I will do this first section. Mr. Gibbs will do the second section, and Mr. Piles will finish us up with the third section. Our policy analysis group project was on the ever so controversial teacher sick outs. These have been a thing in Kentucky the last year or so, and have caused some obvious disruption in schools. The identification of the problem here is that as a result of a high number of teachers sick leave or sick out, closed for 1 day, county closed for 3 days, and Louisville area closed for 6 days. Sick outs were organized in 51 teachers so that schools would have to, this allowed them to attend the Frankfort, taking advantage of a 1 and 1.158.07. School districts closed and sick day when school districts, due to these emergencies, teachers were issued non-contract and schools were something to that things. So why are teachers in the state of Kentucky upset? Our commissioner, D. Lewis, or Dr. Under his two laws you see there, following as a result of these teachers sick out, all names of 28th, March 5th through 7th through 14th, and the teacher called in sick. So if you wanted to know the names, know the dates called in sick. He also wanted certificates from a physician employee was ill or carrying on the day. And lastly, he wanted policies, procedure, collecting sick leave affidavits or trying qualification for the granting. Receive all 10 school districts policies requiring affidavit certificates for sick leave days. Why did the education ask for these? Is our commissioner of education these artifacts so that he could teachers be subject to do in the form of a fine, dismissal, or their job, or taking their teaching certificates away. And we're going to investigate. Don't explicitly throughout the power of the slide to put the answer for each of these. Right to sick out, meaning Senate Bill 151. It just happened to be this case. Call in sick for. Senate does the state of Kentucky subpoena districts for teachers whom participated in sick outs? Question 3. Does the state of Kentucky have the right to civilly punish teachers for lying about being sick in the form of a fine? And question 4, must teachers provide affidavits and or physician certificates when taking a sick day? And I will pass this over to Mr. Gibbs. He's going to talk to you about the evidence against teacher sick outs.
Hi, my name is Mr. Gibbs, and like you said, I'm talking to you about the evidence against teacher sick out. The KRS 156017 authorized the Commissioner of Education to organize the Department of Education composite and function. And also, the KRS 156210 gives him power of the Chief State School Officer, giving the Commissioner the authorization to make school and district and run according to state. Under these two laws, the Commissioner of Education requests documents from 10 districts regarding teacher sick out. The KRS 158.0703F2, rather than the declared local emergency per KRS 158070, report the day as a non-contract day. Initially, the state and the school district had right to declare a local emergency and report the date as a non-contract day. KRS 158.0701F2, the Kentucky Board of Education had authorized the program reservation on the pay of the teachers during absence because of sickness and the use of students attending days as results of local emergency. The KRS 160370 stating an executive officer of the board, the superintendent shall see that the law relating to the school, the bylaw, rules, and regulation of Kentucky Board of Education and the regulation and policy of the District Board of Education are carried into effect. The superintendent of a school district must uphold the law of the KBE in their school district. The KRS 161120 states that the superintendent will report falsified sick leave requests to the Educational Professional Standard Board. The KRS 161120 also place a mandatory duty on superintendent to report to the EPSB conduct of the certified employees that may warrant action against that certification. The KRS 161154, teacher must request and receive approval to the personal use leave to engage in political advocacy. The KRS 161155 requires employees provide district with affidavit or physician certificate stating that the employee was ill or caring for the ill family member of the days that the employee called in sick. The KRS 161790 provides that a teacher contract can be terminated by a superintendent for insubordinating or neglecting of duty. The KRS 336.050 or 336.130 or 336.985 or 336.990. If a district suspect that the sick leave has been requested to create a work stoppage, the district will preserve the list of teacher sick leave requests and submit the list to the Secretary of Labor upon the request for investigation and possible civil penalties. The KRS 336.130 especially provide public employee strikes or work stoppage. The KRS 336.990 provide that any person who violates this KRS 336.130 shall, for each offense, be assessed a severe penalty or not less than $100, no more than $1,000. This fine will be issued by the Secretary of the Labor Cabinet. If a private sector employee strikes or cause work stoppage, the result in the loss of the private or the public of the product or service. If public employee strikes or cause a work stoppage, the least a critical government service to the interest of the public will ensure. Children, the ultimate benefit of the service of publication, are not being educated when schools are not in service in session. The Commissioner recommendation to our district. Teachers who desire to work to engage in public advocacy must request and receive approval to use personal days and not sick leave. If teacher requests sick leave that results in a work stop, the district will prepare the list of teachers' sick leave requests and submit this list to the Secretary of Labor upon request for investigation and possible civil penalty. Teachers found to have falsified sick leave requests will be disciplined by the district up to and including possible termination, or will be reported by the superintendent to the EPSB. And now I'll be followed by Mr. Chris Powell.
Hey, this is Chris Piles. I'll be taking over and wrapping up for us. Next, we have our arguments in support of teacher sickouts. The 1968 case of Pickering versus the Board of Education found that teachers did not surrender their constitutional rights when they become public employees. They actually retain those rights as secured by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Sections 1 and 8 of the Kentucky Constitution states that teachers reserve their rights to speak freely, to peaceably assemble, and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Some more arguments in support of teacher strikeouts. The school district of the city of Detroit versus the Detroit Federation of Teachers case. This case found that teachers who engaged in teacher sickouts and their employee, the school district of Detroit, sued the leaders for the movement, claiming an illegal work stoppage or strike. The court, however, ruled against the district in this case and for the teachers. The court found that the sickout was based on complaints to the state government to rectify educational, financial, and structural problems in the Detroit Public School District, and not issues concerning the rights, privileges, or conditions of their employment. More arguments. KRS 336.130(2), an employer cannot engage or be permitted to engage in unfair practices or to resort in violence, intimidation, or threats or coercions. This is basically saying that threatening employees to be fined civilly, either a minimum of $100 or up to $1,000, is a threat to them, which is against KRS 336.130(2). Evidence suggests that the Cabinet, in conjunction with its Commissioner of Education, has already violated the statute. Andy Beshear fights back. The Attorney General of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, addressed Governor Matt Bevin of Kentucky and Secretary Dickerson by vehemently suggesting they withdraw their request for names of teachers who took sick leave days on the aforementioned dates. He also threatened to take legal action against the state of Kentucky to protect the public from their own government if the unlawful subpoenas were not withdrawn. Current trends. The U.S. District Judge Danny C. Reeves denied the Kentucky Attorney General Andy Beshear's request for the temporary restraining order that would have blocked the subpoenas issued last month by the state labor cabinet. In his ruling, Reeves wrote, "The citizens of Kentucky pay the salaries of the school employees involved in the sickouts." He then added that public education is not free, and if teachers violate the law, the labor cabinet should be able to investigate. This ruling gave the labor cabinet the right to proceed with its investigation into teacher sickouts. The ruling also gave the labor cabinet the authority to investigate illegal work stoppages and to issue individual fines up to $1,000 a day for those found to have been involved. Reeves found that the teacher sickouts likely constituted a strike or illegal work stoppage. Our recommendations we have decided based on the policy and evidence. The first one would be follow the recommendations set forth by the Commissioner of Education to close the loophole between KRS 161.155 and KRS 158.070, and those recommendations can be found on slide 13. We've also recommended that district leaders will work with all schools to ensure that during legislative sessions, each school can send representatives to Frankfort on the school district's behalf. Now, there are some stipulations there. This recommendation requires that the school district remains open and students are still actively engaged in the learning process. As we all know that students are our most important assets, so we need to be there for them and make sure they are constantly learning. Districts can send representatives based on availability of substitutes, and based on the number of teachers and the available substitutes, a maximum of 5% of certified teachers in a certain school may miss school to attend legislative sessions. And those are our recommendations based on this. And that concludes our presentation on teacher sickouts.